Alright, so just hop into it. All the add-ons that I'm currently using, the way that they are. So, starting with up front, DejaCharacterStats will be this screen right here. You're going to see your item level and in-bag item level. They're always just going to be here, and you can customize everything you see here. You also get a few more options as far as the stats that you see. Well, I'll have the names of the add-ons and links for them in a paste bin in the video, and then I need to add a command as well for Twitch. But you can remove or add as much as you want. So this is all the shit that I don't have on here. I've got like health, mana, rage, item level, because you don't need, because it's already right there. Durability of your gear, repair cost, strength, intellect. I don't need that shit anyway. Attack speed, damage, weapon speed, all of this, I don't need it. Spell power you can still show, but that's not really going to make a lot of a difference. So I'm just going to, keep that off, because I don't want to get nerfed. So, but I pretty much have it showing just these things. You've got like the actual stat ratings here that you can show if you want to show a little bit more. Like that honestly wouldn't be a bad idea. So we'll leave that right there. What is stagger? Are you serious right now? No, what the hell? And there, and then you can see between my armor and my dodge, and then see the amount of the stats that I actually have, which 1,369 verse. That's a sexy number. So that's a great add-on right there. Next up, I guess we'll just move on to details, which I really like. Right now I've got current boss. This was a freehold 11 that I just did in balance, hence the higher DPS. My top meter, I've got it showing current when I'm in fights. I've got this one on current, and then I've usually got current healing right here, and then overall damage here. But at the end of the run, which is one thing I really like about this add-on, is that it automatically shows total for the whole run. You don't have to worry about anything that you did before the dungeon or whatever. So like freehold 10 overall is what's down here. So you can see overall the D8s that kept dying still did more damage than I did because of fucking I-beam, which is annoying, but this one, I really like this add-on. I used to use SCADA a lot. I mainly stick with details at the moment, mainly for the spreadsheet that it has. I like it a lot more than SCADA, so this is my damage for just the last boss. Shows crits, all of this, damage zone, average hits, lower hits, things that most of the other add-ons will show. Overall healing, and then you see overhealing on the bottom right there, which is neat. Monk did a lot of overhealing, but not like it really mattered that much because we didn't do it in time. So my favorite thing about this is the streamer details add-on that y'all see. Is just shows all the abilities that I use. So for whatever, if you like to make videos or whatever, this is a really handy part of the add-on. Shows cooldowns, all this, intimidating roar, typhoon, thrash, swiftman, all the heals that you got, which is really cool. So I really like that part of it, mainly because I stream. So next up, I guess we'll talk about this little thing right here. This is an Exorcist raid tools. So you type in ERT, and that brings this up. And then I go through, I use it in raid as well, but I mainly like it in plus. So when you first install it, it's just going to have pretty much everything or nothing. I forget, but I only have the things checked that we're really going to use in plus. I don't run with too many shamans, and I don't really need to know like their party cooldowns. I'm really just primarily concerned about cooldowns that are going to be used on me. So like I did some healing for some reason. It thinks I'm the resto, so it's got iron bark up, but I run with mostly resto druids anyway, so it's really handy just to have that there. You can see the cooldown that they have on it, so you can know when to call for it. The healers that I run with more consistently know that I'm going to ask for it, because I'm going to plan my cooldowns kind of around theirs and just kind of use them all in tandem throughout the run. And because things like Ironbark has a really short cooldown. So like I roll through here like Revival, meh. Like Ironbark, GS, Paints Up, Sack, Cocoon. That's about it. The rest of it I don't really need to worry about. Things that don't really pertain to me. I probably should be showing stuns and stuff, but it's probably going to be annoying to see the amount that they're not getting used. That's why I stopped showing the interrupts, actually. I used to have another meter down here that used to show the amount of interrupts that my party was doing, but that ended up just triggering me more than it was helping me to see how much people weren't doing. So, so I got rid of that just to kind of help myself, not get annoyed. Don't really run with too many warriors, but if I did, I should probably actually go ahead and check that so I have Rallying Cry up too. And then just lock or unlock, you can extend the size of it. Just, I like them right there, so if I have a monk, I've got 2 cooldowns right here. Haven't exactly figured out how to stack them up. It's kind of annoying, but I think I can change that in here, maybe, but I don't know. Put that in like row 2, so maybe they'll stack up if I have like that. So they'll go up instead of going down on the side. I don't know. I haven't played around with it too much. That's going to be for people a little smarter than me with this add-on. I haven't spent a lot of time with it, but you go with spells. I'm just going to go ahead and lock it again. Go into appearance, and you can change all of it. Like width, lines. Alpha is visibility. Alright, yeah. Scale. You can change how small or big it is. I like to see it. I like it right there next to my character frame. There's a lot of other shit that you can do. I honestly haven't messed with any of it. I use the general tab for like width and all of that. And lines. Maybe 2, but I don't have a lot of cooldowns showing because I don't really raid too much. And when I do raid now, it's currently in balance because taking old ear is honestly kind of annoying. Like, I proved to myself that I could do that before all the nerfs, especially, so I'm enjoying raiding as a DPS again. It's been nice, but so that's ERT, Exorcist raid tools. Next up, we'll go to, I guess, Z-Perl, which are my character frames right here. This is a neat little add-on that will actually save profiles. So if you make a new character, I log on to my character, I load my profile for my druid here, and it puts my frames exactly like this, same size, same settings for the buffs and the debuffs, the size of things, all of that. It's pretty self-explanatory. All of the names and things in here, they explain themselves well. They've also got little tooltips on them to help you see things like that. Status highlighting, I honestly probably don't need. That's really just going to put a highlight around the frame with really useless information. I'm not a healer, so, and I don't use the party or the raid frames for this add-on either. I use the in-game one. So, like, look, let me, as far as frames go, just real quick to show you. I can find somebody to invite to a group. Come on, somebody. That's not in fucking old there, dude. Oh my god. Zoldazar, Hakan, yeah. So before we go a little bit more in depth with why this is why I don't use the party and raid frames for Z-Perl, because I like the in-game one. If I have a full party, especially when I'm in a plus, I keep their frames right here, right next to my target frame. It's real easy for me to just click and heal or do whatever I need. And just helps me keep track of everybody, see their debuffs and things like that. It helps me see my healer mana, which is always like right on the special bar down there. This frame I'll occasionally move with an add-on called MoveAnything that we'll talk about in a minute. But for the in-game frame, it's you click the eye up here. This thing is usually going to be like this, so you check that out. A lot of people on YouTube have asked about this. I don't usually mark more than skull, so it's usually like a quick click up here for that. for this, so like that, or a square. You can throw them on a keybind. I have a lot of keybinds right now as is. So as far as that goes, the target that I'm gonna pull first, I usually always have already selected anyway. I tend to keep a square on my head if I'm in pugs, just because it's nice and easy to see. A lot of people like orange. I don't like the nipple. I don't like it. I think it's ugly and it's obnoxious. I like blue. Just because the nipple's annoying, dude. They're like, orange, you're a druid. And I'm like, nah, dude. It's not, no. But yeah, definitely easier to throw these on a keybind if you have them. All my keybinds are pretty much full at the moment, and I don't feel like adding on new ones right now. Especially because I mainly do plus, so I don't need a million keybinds. I don't do a lot of PvP, and when I do, the keybinds that I currently have are pretty much set, so... but that's that. And then my general settings for the in-game frames. First thing you want to do is use raid style party frames. It changes from this little shit stuff here to this over here. That looks really, really good. I like it. They've done a lot of good work on this. Keep groups together. I don't do that. Display incoming heals. There's things I don't need to see. I don't need to see what my healer is doing as far as like healing up the party. I'm assuming that they're going to be healing the party. I don't need to see what they're healing or who they're healing. That's, you know, that's on them. Display power bars is how I see my healer mana. Display aggro highlight is going to show on here. It'll be kind of like the square that's around it now. It'll be orange on a party member that's close to having threat, and it'll be red on a party member that has threat, which is usually... my frame is pretty much always red. If it's any kind of yellow, that's because I'm kiting, and but I already see that on the nameplates that I have. So if you're doing a job as a tank, you're gonna know what you do and don't have threat on, and what you have low threat on, and what you're about to lose. So we'll talk about nameplates here soon. I don't show pets. I show class colors. Display main tank and assist for raid. Yes. Show debuffs. I don't like showing only dispellable ones. I like to see what's on my party. So like in Warcraft, especially like a week like this on Tyrannical, when you're facing the Triad and Jagged Nettles goes out on a party member, I can see that, and I know if I have an Instincts up, because that fight's not really detrimental for tanks. That Triad in that run is really like your party is going to get wrecked. You're not going to take a lot of damage there. So I usually save my Instincts. I'll pop Instincts, I'll pop out, I'll throw a Swiftman, I'll throw like some hots out on the party, and then I'll hop back into Bear. But mainly for things like that I really like to know and see, so if I can help, I will. Display health text, none. You can show like health percentage, things like that. Health lost, health remaining. I don't really need to see that shit. I can see, like, my brain can process that if this bar is half empty, they've got 50% health. Doesn't take a genius to kind of work that out for yourself. Frame height and frame width is really up to you. And the rest of this, auto activate on things like specs or whatever. I don't fuck around with any of that. So primary, you can make new ones, but I don't need one right now. So again, most of the options in there are pretty self-explanatory. So besides, so that's the in-game one. So now we'll go back to Z-Perl, which is going to be this little icon on your map up here. I don't do too much on this, to be honest. I adjust the player frame scale, target, focus. I don't really use that much, mainly just because I do mostly Mythic Plus, and my focus is my party. So I don't really... like, I don't need an extra frame for me to focus 1 out of 5 people. Again, that's just kind of like, doesn't take a lot of brain power to watch like one party of 5. Status highlighting, that's really up to you. So like if I have hots on me, it's going to show a little green thing around here. Shields, hot counter. You really want to see things like that. So like this. I don't even see it on there. Or maybe that's like the ticking as it ticks. But again, things that are like kind of inconsequential that I don't really care about. If you like having a bunch of flashing things on your screen, you know, have at it, but I don't. Buff tooltips. There's like all this shit's pretty self-explanatory. They put really good tooltips in all the names here. So move on to player. I don't use a 3D portrait because I have a 3D portrait here. You know, this whole thing. I have a 3D character. I don't really need a 3D portrait, so I don't just things that I just don't use. You can use like your class thing. You can do this however you want. I generally take off the 3D because we're in a 3D game already. So special bar is more relatable to like if you're a Death Knight with runes or a cat with combo points. So like if I go into cat, it's gonna show that right there, and it's gonna drop my buffs down a bit, and I'll have my special bar right there. Docked with player. And I can kind of, you should be able to move, oh, lock, yeah. You should be able to move it around. I don't know, it works sometimes it doesn't. I generally don't need that up, so keep that docked with your player to keep it in line with your buffs and all of that, so. But in general, I'm a bear, so I don't need that shit. Precast indicator is just going to show things like this. So if I go to cast, it's going to show a little purple bar at the end of your thing that's going to show if you don't want any lag in your cast times, which if you're a caster is really, really important. That can help. I've been playing this game for a long time. I kind of know how the cast time works. I know how to precast. I don't need that help. Level, class icon, all this bullshit. You can even put your XP bar here, which is actually sometimes nice. I don't use it though because I'm already used to it being down here with my artifact power bar. So we'll take that off. No mana bar, which is going to show if I was a bear, I can see my mana. So if I know I need to throw heals out, I can hop in bear and still see my active mana there. I generally don't use it just because ideally I'm not going to have to hop out to really heal ever, but if I do, I know I have enough mana on my bar to, if I need to regrowth, swift mend, wild growth, rejuve, and that's my whole mana pool. That's regrowth, swift mend, wild growth, rejuve. I know by now that that's going to use up all of my mana, and I should be back in bear by the time, like if I have to sit there and do all of that anyway, and not be back in bear by the time I'm out of mana, like it's not good. Things are going south. So I generally just know my mana bar, but for those of you who are still getting used to playing bear, that could really help. I just like to see my rage. I don't need anything distracting me from me saying how much rage I have, because that's a lot more important. Party numbers, all of this on your target and the target of target, which is more important. So you're going to want to make sure this box is checked. So you can see this right here. Seeing what your target is attacking on a tank is extremely important. Adjusting the scale on all of this as you want. You can see buffs, percentages. I don't need to see any buffs on my target of target. I just need to see who my target is attacking. I don't need to see what buffs they have. I don't need to see their percentage. I don't need to see any of that shit. I just need to know who he's after, and if it's not me, I need to do something about that. And that's it. The more important thing here would be where the buffs are. So I like to put the big debuffs, which puts my debuffs, like my Thrash and my Moonfire, are a lot bigger. They're larger than anybody else's on the target. So which is why I like my Thrash and my Moonfire are larger here in any kind of gameplay that you see. Big buffs is just gonna show that for like my own buffs. But again, I don't need to see buffs on my target. I need to see where my Thrash is and where my Moonfire is. Fuck you guys. I just need to see where that is and how long it has left. And that's really it. I don't need to see their buffs. Big stealable buffs is about it. Like, I don't really fuck around with too much of this. colors, all focus. There's a lot more things if you really want to get in depth with that, but that's generally the extent that I go with this. I do the same thing on my player. I'll put my buffs. You can throw them above or below. I don't like them above because this is where I have like my Harlan's thing. I don't want them stacking up because I have my DBM timers here. And I have my Harlan's proc here, and that's about it. So not reading chat right now. Hide the default buffs, which is up here. I take that off because I don't need to see that. And that's about it for Z-Perl. So yeah, we went over details, we went over the in-game raid and party frame, we went over Z-Perl, Exorcist raid tools. I invited you to have a party, Azor. Sorry, man. Thank you. I needed you to show off my frames here, so you're gonna be on YouTube. Let's move on to Bartender, actually. So Bartender is what I use right here. You can hit unlock and it's going to show all the bars I currently have. You generally don't see my bar 3 and 6. Y'all don't see these things very often because when I have it hidden, they're very, very dark. They're very hard to see. If I mouse over them, you'll see them, but I don't need to see that shit all the time, which is a part of why I put this bar here. I don't have any keybinds on this bar here. This is just to show shit. Mainly for me to see during a fight or whatever it may be. You can leave the party if you want. I'm sorry, I don't want to hold you up, so. My bad, but thank you very much for that. So for Bartender, I generally have it set up like this. So pet bar, I don't really need a place for that. I don't give a shit about that. I don't have pets very often. More importantly, extra action bar, zone ability bar. I've got my micro menu down here, but all of this is pretty much hiding all the time. These are where my actual keybinds are here. So you got like 1 through the end of the keyboard, and then my like F, R, X, T, G, H, and one of my mouse buttons. Cooldowns down here, like my instincts, my wild growth, my demo roar, my stampeding roar, and my iron fur are all on my mouse. Things I don't need to see. So like a part of why I don't have like maul or iron fur up here, I know how much rage I need to use them. I don't need to see when that ability is active to be able to use it because I know how much rage it costs. Because I know how to read. So generally, let's make a new bar though, just real quick, just so I can show you. Where's the bar that I don't have active right now? Hey, thanks, Kevin. Appreciate you, man. Where's my bar 4? Bar 4, there it is. Alright, so generally, I'm going to show you how to do all the shit that I have here with this one bar right here. Padding is going to be over here. Button lock, we'll take that off. So let me put some abilities on this bar right here. We'll do like rejuve, sure. Iron fur, battle res, remove corruption, revive. Let's just fill the bar up with just a bunch of shit. Maul, moonfire, sure. Mangle, intimidating roar, and regrowth. There it is. Alright, cool. Okay, so there's that. So I'm gonna hit lock to uncheck that so then I can see this whole thing right here. You can screw with the rows. It's just gonna make it like this. I generally just go on whatever I need. So we'll stick with 3 rows for now, just so it's easy to see. Scale, I'm gonna make it real big so you can see this shit. That not a no thrash, dude. Hey man, suck. Sometimes, you know. So we got this up here. Now padding is gonna make it like this. Padding just increases the space between your bars, which is real easy to fix if you really want to mash it all together like that, but you know, that looks really silly. I generally don't use any padding. So I keep that at about 0. Some people like a little bit. You can. I have a little bit of padding here, I think, but adjust that however you want, however you like, and just make it however. So we'll stick with 0. We'll do like 1. Alpha is going to be like how well you can see the bar, so how well it's actually hidden. So if I put that all the way down to 0 and I mount, you're not going to see it. The trick here with hiding my bars like I do over here, so you don't really see that or that or that or these two here, is you're going to go over to visibility and you're going to click fade out. And now the fade out is what you do here. And now the fade out alpha is how well you see it all the time. And then if I were to mouse over it, it's going to show that whole bar, which is real handy. I don't need to see all the shit all the time. I don't want to see it. I really don't want it on the stream because I have a lot of shit. I've got like mounts, little toys, drums, glider kits, mounts. Enable or disable my tooltips, which we'll talk about. So that's how that works. That's it. Fade out. It just depends on how much you want to see. So you can take it all the way down and not see it at all, and then only see it when you mouse over it, which is neat. But we don't really need that at the moment. So let's just put that all the way up. And that's really it, dude. Oh, so for key bindings, so this is bar 4 here. That's right in the middle of my screen. Bartender introduces extra keybind options into your menu. So actually, here, let me move this a little bit over here, like right there. Lock. You definitely want to keep the button lock on, so you don't like. I don't click very many things. I click my pots and bear just because that's the only thing I have to click. Everything else is on a keybind, so. But when you are using Bartender, when you go into keybinds, it's going to have a special section right down here, and it's going to show all of this. So if I wanted to add any keybinds onto a new bar, you're just going to go down to the bar that you had, which this is bar 4. I know that because you can even just check this. If you left click the Bartender icon up here, it's going to automatically unlock things. So I know that's bar 4. I'm not going to attach anything because I don't want to remove any of my current binds. But roll down to bar 4 and just throw on whatever keybinds you want on there. 1 is going to start at the top left, and then 12 is going to be at the bottom right from wherever you are. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, and then through 12. And that's it. So do that yourself. I've got, yeah, like my bar 5 here is where I have my keybinds for all my cooldowns. I've got my mouse attached to my F keys because I have a Razer Naga Trinity. R1 is already it's already taken care of with just general action bars. That's still there. I don't need to mess around with that. And that's pretty much it for that, dude. That is Bartender in a nutshell. Real easy add-on to use and to get used to. Right click it to bring up the frame. If you want to enable or disable bars, like I've got bar 2 and bar 7 right there. If I want to disable those, I can just uncheck that and not have them there. But I want them there, so I'm going to put them back. I'm going to take that bar 4 and disable it. Go back to lock. Make sure button lock is on so you don't move anything around that you don't want to. And that's it. So that's Bartender. We're going to MoveAnything, which is a real neat add-on. MoveAnything really just is by the name. It does everything that it says it will do. So you can literally move anything. Like right now, the game menu to minimap. I already have an add-on for that called SexyMap. That add-on literally explains itself. That's a really cool thing, which hides the icons on my map after a moment, and just has a neat little conservative display there that I really like. My main thing that I use and MoveAnything is, where's my questing shit? Info panels. Like, you can literally do anything. Like, we're gonna waste a lot of time if I go through trying to explain everything here. Miscellaneous. Where's my fucking info panels? I found it when I was doing it. Achievements and quests. So quest details, no. Objectives window. So that's this thing here. That's this one right here that has all your quests and shit. I made that real small. And when you click on the thing that you want to move around is when it pulls up the options. So if you want to make it smaller, larger, offset, width, height, you can do all of this. MoveAnything is a little buggy at the moment, I guess. But you can literally do whatever you want with it. So objective window, I'm just going to take that and throw it back up here. I did make it smaller because I don't really want to see all that shit all the time. And that's the shit that pops up for like anything you will want to move, like literally anything. And if you don't want to move it by your mouse, if you want some really tiny exact adjustments, you can just hit the arrows right here and it'll adjust that shit real finely. To put it right on the edge of my frame, on the edge of my screen right there. Bam, done. And then just make sure it's locked. Kick off the mover. And then if you move some shit that you want it to go back to where it was, so you can either redo it or just you want it to go back to the original place where it was, all you gotta hit is reset and it'll put that shit back to where it was by default. And yeah, dude, this is literally, so I'm gonna uncheck it to make sure it's locked there. You can literally move anything, dude. Like arena frames, I've actually got that moved. For arena enemy 1, 2, and 3, I've got them right here above my target because my party frame will be here with the people that I'm in threes with, and then my enemies will be right above that, which is always, I like it like that. I like it like that. Yeah, dude, you like, that's an add-on you really just gotta play around with yourself, but you can literally move anything. It's fantastic. Add-ons, what else am I using? AzeriteTooltip. AzeriteTooltip is a fantastic add-on, so when I mouse over any of my Azerite gear on me or in my bags, it's going to show all the traits that it has and what level they unlock at. So like my chest, yep, I just hit 25 yesterday. So I can see I've got Bulwark, Earthlink, Claws on my chest, Claws, Earthlink, and Passive on my shoulders, and Claws on my way and I'm Passive on my helm. Really the 3 best in slot Azerite pieces for Bear for Mythic Plus, hence why I'm still using 340s and not like my 370s that I have for Raid. If I were to go into Oldir as a tank, I would be using probably my archive traits still, but keeping my balance traits for those because I'm not paying fucking 5 or 10,000 gold or wherever my reforge cost is right now. I'm not paying it. I'm not paying it. Fuck that. It's a stupid system. So I'm just collecting a bunch of fucking Azerite. So, but that's a really handy add-on. Let's see what else. Bagnon, which is, you know, everybody has their own preference on bag add-ons. I like this one. I have a lot of shit in my bags right now between like mats and all this fucking gear and food and scrolls and hammers and tomes and flasks and all this bullshit. Bagnon's my preference. Some people like Addy bags. I kind of like it, but I have to screw around with it too much for me. There's like, you have to finagle it. It looks really good once you get it set up, but Bagnon's pretty simple, and if you have it enabled, you can see what's in your bags on your alts, which is actually real nice. I'm sure Addy Bags has a thing like that too, I think. I'm not entirely sure, but that's my bag add-on. We got Bartender, we got Details, we went through that. For things to disable on some of these, like Bagnon, I don't like it for my guild bank. I don't like it for the void storage. I don't have Bag Brother on right now because I'm not really playing my alts that much, but if I was doing like any kind of bank stuff or things like that, Bag Brother would be great. Azeroth Autopilot is supposedly a really good one for questing from 110 to 120. I haven't played it, or I haven't used it myself yet, but that's supposed to be a really neat add-on. It just kind of like really directs you like where to go, what quests to do specifically, where to set your Hearthstones, like really efficient ways to get from 110 to 120. I'm looking forward to doing that on my Ellie Shaman to be ready for these 8.1 changes and buffs. I want to be 120 and a bit geared by then, so really looking forward to trying that out. I turn off the details game because I haven't seen it, but it sounds like something I don't want. 3D model viewer, I don't need that. Again, like, I'm in a 3D game, why do I need to see 3D models on my frames? One quick note about your add-on for details actually is if you're doing like a raid or a dungeon or a pug or something and you see somebody like you want to see their talents, details has this neat little thing where if you mouse over their spec icon, it will show you the talents that they had. So mine's showing my bear shit right now because I'm in bear spec, but if I were to go balance, it would show my balance things. But like the rogue that I was in that freehold with, he had these talents here. I don't know what any of it means because I don't play rogue. The demon hunter talents, you can see the prop pally talents, and the mistweaver thing. So that's just a neat little thing that I like about that one. Immersion, we'll talk about that in a minute. GottaGoFast is actually a neat one. I've been using this for Mythic Plus over Angry Keystones. This one's really neat actually. So shit, no. Oh my god, dude. Interface, GottaGoFast, and now the display frame. Now you can unlock it. I wish it would show. Sleepy, dude. I'm not reading it yet. Out of here. Demo mode. There we go. So this is how GottaGoFast will look. It's kind of like a little more efficient way to see how you're progressing in a Mythic Plus run. Shows the affixes, which you don't really need, but where you're gonna 2-chest, where you're gonna 3-chest, what time you killed whatever boss, and most importantly, the percentage that you're at for whatever dungeon that you're in. I just kind of like this one more. I was using Angry Keystones for a while, but it uses, like, it's based off of like the in-game time bar thing, and I'm tired of it. I don't like it. So GottaGoFast is nice. You can adjust the scale, like the offset of how things look. So I have like the key number here. You mouse over it, it's going to show all of this. It'll show what the affixes do. If it was skittish, yeah, enemies pay far less attention to the threat generated by tanks. It's just going to explain shit that you honestly should already know. So that's a neat add-on right there. I'm just going to lock that, turn off the demo mode. Immersion is actually a neat one. I really like this add-on, so let me reload and turn that on. Especially for questing and leveling alts and things like that. If you do that a lot, this could be an add-on that you would like. Whenever I talk to somebody, it's going to pull up a frame like this instead of the traditional box and like a large paragraph. It's going to pull this up. And if there's a lot of lines of text, it's gonna split the text up into like 2, 3, or 4 frames, so it's like easy to read. I actually found myself reading a lot more of the RP stuff as I quested using this. It's really neat. Really like it. And then choosing options like this. Tell me about the betrayal of Zul. Oh shit, no, I don't need to see that. Lol. But yeah, it's just it's a neat little add-on. I like it a lot. Really does kind of like immerse you more into, like, I like to read the shit now because of this. So, but I don't really do a lot of questing on my druid, so I don't use it. So I'm just gonna go into my add-ons tab over here and just uncheck that. And we're going to talk about method dungeon tools next, which, if you are a tank, this is an add-on that you fucking need, dude. You need this. You need to be looking at it. You need to be reading it. Seeing everything that happens in here. So, it's going to be a little icon on your map. I'm going to click this. And it's going to pull it up like this. Let's go to Addons, since much of you probably saw that video recently. And this pulls up the route that I have for that. You can plan a route. You can click and uncheck mobs, and it'll adjust the percentage right here as you go through the pulls. I don't really fuck around with like doing separate pulls that much, because really how much you pull and how quickly you pull is going to depend on the group that you're with. It's like you don't want to stay with a system of, all right, I'm going to pull this, and then I'm going to pull this, and then I'm going to wait, and I'm going to pull this, and I'm going to pull this. That's a really, don't be a square. Be open to adaptation, things changing, speeding yourself up, slowing yourself down based on what's happening. So I generally won't assign pulls like this. If you look at a route that I made, I click everything, and it looks like I'm doing it all in one big fucking pull. So it's just all in one pull. I stole this from J.B and changed a couple mobs and added some notes for y'all. Not stole this, I got it from him and then just added some notes and things, and I changed a couple mobs that are a little bit more friendly to bear. Like not pulling these or doing any of this shit. I'm not a Death Knight, so I can't control undead, so I'm not going to worry about any of that shit. All this trash sucks up here anyway, so you don't want to fuck around with any of that. You can click the arrow here and like put arrows like that, or like make notes and like add a note, insert note, and it'll throw a note there. You click on it and you can like type in whatever you want. It's a really cool add-on, dude. I like it, and especially if you're a tank, the most important thing here is anything you want to know about. So if you don't know like the stealth dudes here at the start, you can right click them and then it'll pull up all the abilities that they use. So they do Venom Tip Blade, which is the passive. Melee attacks have a chance to inflict additional nature damage. Venom Fang Strike slashes at the target. It's less than a 1 second cast, inflicting damage and increasing nature damage taken by 100% for 8 seconds, which is why that shit. And then he hits you with his passive that does more nature damage. Oh, that's why that guy hurts. So that's generally why, you know, you want to look at things like this. This is the effect that they have when they're stealth. Next melee attack, they jab you from the shadows, inflicting damage, and stuns you for 3 seconds. So it's like, okay, so I need to be prepared for that. If they're gonna stun me, hopefully my healer is near me. And you know, if I'm doing like a 15 or something, hopefully he doesn't shit on me before my healer realizes what's happening if they don't know. And more importantly, you're gonna go down here and it's gonna show everything that they can be CC'd by. So this guy is gonna be stealth, so you're not gonna see him prior to it anyway. We'll look at the honor guards. These guys can be taunted. Priests can shackle them. DKs can control undead. They can be blinded or disoriented. They can be stunned. They can be slowed. They can be incapped. They can be rooted, and they can be silenced. So this is all really good info, especially when planning a route. When doing like higher, harder keys, and sometimes you need to adjust routes based on like what's easy at like a 10 and what's going to be easy at a 15 might change. So you really need to be aware of things like this. Being aware of like the shield bearers of Zul, why I skip these things, because they can detect stealth, which is, yeah, so they detect stealth. It'll show that there. They do a shield blast, which interrupts casting, but I haven't really seen them do that too much, and I'm not really casting. So, and then the bulwark that they do, the big shield that they pop that reduces damage they take by 90% for 5 seconds, and everything inside it. These guys can be repentant, silenced, rooted, incapped, slowed, stunned, blinded, polyed, control undead, and shackled. I don't know if they can be polyed, I guess. I'm not sure if that's entirely true. And they can be taunted, so you know, that's always good. And then you can like roll up to a boss and see everything that he does. This is all in the dungeon journal as well. Don't really need to worry about things like that, but a boss that might be able to be CC'd by something, he can be taunted, he can't be silenced, but he can be interrupted. So this add-on's fucking fantastic, dude. If you don't have it and you're a tank, you need to get it. I've also got routes up on a paste bin, where if you come on the Twitch and you just type the command !routes, and you can pull up the pastebin there. That'll pull all of my routes up that I have currently. I think I've got them all up there. I got a bunch of routes up for teaming. Next time we have that back around, because that was honestly annoying at first, not really knowing what I was gonna pull. And the add-on wasn't quite updated until this week, or like end of last week, after Naga got their Method World first kill, but he's starting to put more work on it now, which is awesome. So if you want to support that dude, do it. He has a Patreon, because this add-on is fucking awesome, dude. It's really great. The best thing to do is just to get it and start playing around with it. Get routes from whoever you want. I have my routes on a pastebin there. J.B has routes that he's doing, but his routes change so much between like what he did last week and what he does the week that we're on now. I'm adjusting things here and there, but I'm always trying to learn more, and trying to see what other tanks and other groups are doing as far as like their routes and all of that. So definitely spent the most time on this add-on because it's fucking awesome, dude. Really, really good. And anytime you're in a group that might have the add-on as well, you can click share, and it's going to show, like, if I was in a party and they all had this add-on, I click share, it posts a thing in party chat, and all they have to do is click on it. A window will pop up here that says import. You click import, and then they have your route, and they can see what you're going to do, where you're going to go, where you're going to shroud with these little notes right here. Like, you're going to invis and shroud here along the ledge and just go around. Really, really handy. I honestly wish just everybody had this, but you know, I feel like this word hasn't really gotten out enough about it. You can do new if you want to import routes. So just real quick, one last thing about this. I'm gonna like pull up my pastebin, and it's real easy to import these. So if you hit the command, and then you're gonna come in and you're just gonna pick one of them. You're gonna go to freehold, sure, and it's gonna pull up a big box of text like this, and you're just gonna triple click, and it's gonna take it all. You gotta make sure you have it all, and then you're gonna Control C or copy, however you want to do it, and then you're gonna go on the add-on, and you're gonna go into import, and you're gonna paste it all right here, and then you're gonna hit OK, and you're gonna import, and it's gonna pull this up exactly as I have it here. Really, really easy to just get routes. So no porn shortcuts, nah. Not right now, at least. Not for you to see. But yeah, dude, really fucking awesome add-on. I love this add-on. If you're trying to push plus and get into it, this add-on is fucking amazing. So that's enough about that. Add-ons. GottaGoFast. The dungeon tool is MoveAnything. Radar.io is actually really nice. That will show this page here on myself, which isn't as important, but it shows my IO score here, 1122. My DPS score as of the update that was implemented today. They update this add-on every day, so if you really want your score to be updated on yourself when people look at you, you want to make sure you update this every day. It's going to show how many times the 10 to 14 runs I've done. I've done 686 between last expansion and this one. Timed runs at 15 and above, I've done 403. That's all last expansion so far, because as of right now I haven't done any 15s, much less in time yet. It'll show the best runs you've done by the dungeon for sure. And then more importantly, when you're like making a group, I'm going to feel bad because I'm going to fake some people out, but we'll go to dungeons, start a group, Ataldazar, +6 AD, checking IO, whatever, minimum item level, what, like 340, whatever you want. Then you're gonna list your group, and you're gonna see this is how I make groups in general. If I need, I generally don't. If I need to pug, it's really only 1 or 2 spots, or I'm just like joining a pug that's already been made. But when they sign up and you mouse over these dudes, I can see their score. I can see their score. So this dude's 641, and for Ataldazar, the highest he's done is a 6. The Warlock is a 566, highest he's done is a 4. And then if I keep my mouse over them and I hit Control, it's going to show their runs there. So he's done a Waycrest, 7 is the highest he's done. He's done King's Rest, Shrine, TD, and Temple on a 6, and Underroute on 6. He's done 5s on Freehold, Siege, and Motherlode. So if you hit Control there, you can see that, and you can see if they play any other specs. So like this guy, this Azeroth Druid, he doesn't have an account, or he just hasn't done any yet on that character. The Rogue has done some 7s, some 6s, so he's at least trying. The DK, 10k plus IO. This guy has only played a DPS, so, but yeah, you get the point. So let me take this off. I don't want to get these guys excited. But yeah, really great add-on. Supposedly it changes this frame a bit here, but I haven't really seen it. They did have next week's affixes right here. Hopefully they'll add that back. It's gonna show the guild records for the week. I don't know why we don't have that up, because I've been smashing keys this week. But yeah, Raider IO is definitely an add-on you want if you're doing plus, especially if you have to pug. But keeping in mind with this, you also need to go to the Raider IO website. You need to make an account, and you need to manage your characters on there. You need to sync your Battle.net account to that as well. And after you sync your Battle.net account, you need to choose your main. So you're gonna go into your characters on the website. Let me see. I should be able to pull it up. I should already be logged in. Let's see. Come on, bro. Oh, low. I'm not logged in. Hold on one second. I'm not fucking logged in. Hold on. Just 1 second, dudes. Just log in real quick. I don't want you to see my fucking email. Alright, so there we go. I am logged in, and I'm just gonna go to my account, my settings, and it's gonna show all my characters right here, and I'm gonna choose whatever one I want to be my main. I'm gonna click it. It's gonna pull that character up. You can choose the banner for if like they actually look at your IO page, which is smart if you're doing higher keys. And you want to do mark as main character. And then you can do include link to main on profile. You definitely want to hit yes for your alts, but you want to make sure your alts are up here. This dude is obviously my main. I'm gonna save that, and then this is why I say you want to look at people when you're doing higher keys. You want to see what they're doing. So, because you pull up my page and you're gonna see the rank on their realm, you're gonna see their rank in the US, and you're gonna see their rank for the world for all druids, druid tanks, druid DPS, which, you know, I'm not really worried about that. And then you can see all tanks on your realm, which is actually a handy thing to see. You can see all the keys I've done in time. These are the best runs that I've done so far. And then if you want to look a bit more in depth, you can click the arrow on the side and it'll show you all the keys you've done so far up to that point. 13, 12, 11 in time. I had a bunch not in time the past 2 weeks just because of fucking shenanigans. But we've been smashing it this week for sure. And then if you really want to look, what I tend to look at, especially if I'm doing anything like 11, 12, 13, you can click the affixes thing here, and like I generally want to see what keys they've tried to do this week for a tyrannical. So we've got all these, and then you can go over and see like what they did. Seeing what a DPS does on a fortified week is kind of important to it'll give you a decent gauge on if they were able to pump out enough of like fortified weeks. Your DPS really got to be pumping. So if you see a DPS that has a lot of runs not on time, it sucks, but that might be a sign that like either they just had a lot of bad tanks or they just can't put out the damage that they need to help make sure they do these runs in time. It's not for sure. There's never like a like this is why you don't have a lot of keys in time, but in general, that's kind of what that means. So there's a lot of resources here to be able to use if you want to compare yourself. So here's all tanks on my server. I got some work to do. There's a Pally that's like crushing my score right now. Feels bad, but you always gotta have a goal. So that's my goal, is to be top tank on not just my server, but like just in general. But I don't want to be the best. As soon as you think you're the best, you're not, or there's some fucking Asian kid that's way better than you. So so I have a lot of DKs below me that are, you know, feels bad. I'm the only bear in the top, like the first page. I'm the only bear amongst a bunch of DKs, but you know, fuck all you guys. Get good. Then you can go to Druid tanks on my realm, and yeah, good lord, the gap between me and the number 2 bear is like kind of a jump. So if you ever want to compare, if you're not like the number 1 tank on your realm for your class, have a look on here and see what they're doing. See what they're, so like, let's see what this guy is doing here. What's he got going on? I can see the gear that he logged out in. He's using Electromental. This is fucking weird. He's got 1 Thrash trait, he's got an Iron Fur trait, and a combined Might trait. I really recommend you farm those Thrash traits, buddy. Got the Glad badge, which is his 370, not bad, damn. 370 weapon, nice. You can see the stats on all of his gear, the sockets, all of this, and I can see the runs that he's done. So, you know, he's trying at least. He's doing some work, so. But, yeah, man. That is IO. A huge resource that you need to be taking advantage of, so. Really trying to stay top 10 world bears. I'd like to be in top 5, but you know, I gotta keep grinding. I gotta keep working. I gotta keep learning, and just keep doing shit. So, add-ons, SexyMap. We talked about that. WeakAuras, WeakAuras, and World Quest List and Satchel Scanner are the last 3. So. WeakAuras is like fucking pain in the ass sometimes. These are the WeakAuras that I currently have available. Well, when I die, it says "Don't yell, get better." Thank you, J.B again for that. I love that. You can see my Harlan's proc right here. I just like to know when that's up. You can see the WeakAura for my mouse, which is right here. The cursor, I'll put links to these in the description down below, for the cursor and Harlan's and all of that. So why is it not showing? There we go. I'll put the Harlan's one down there, and I'll put the cursor link down there. I've got some extra ones on my Demon Hunter that I'm still kind of playing around with. I haven't quite worked all of those out yet, but there's a lot of good WeakAuras out here. Like, there's fucking just a lot. I'll have the link to the main site for that down below. I believe it's just like wago.io or something like that. Lots of good things to use for there, for like specific dungeons, encounters, specific bosses, for raid, for your class, for like, there's so much shit, dude. We can't even talk about it here. But I will provide the links to Harlan's and my cursor. I'll put the Don't Yell there in one. I'll throw that one there just because it helps me. Maybe it'll help you. World Quest List. World Quest List is fucking fantastic, dude. So that's an add-on right here. When I go out into the zone, for Zuldazar, it shows all the quests right here, how much time is left. You can organize it by the faction for the rep, or organize it by rewards, AP, resources, rep, items, by name, but that's fucking weird. So I generally arrange it by rewards, so I can just see, alright, AP, it's all up here, bam, bam, bam. Going out to your zone, it'll show the whole continent. You go out here, it'll show all the quests for both of the continents. Really cool add-on. I like it a lot. Pretty self-explanatory, you know, so we don't need to talk about that too much. And a neat one, actually, that we got recently, which I'll put the macro to start it up in the description down below as well, but it's called Satchel Scanner. So if you are out farming herbs or questing, doing a world quest, whatever, and you want to take advantage of the tanking or the healing bags, which you should be, because it's like 900 to 1,000 gold. It's 1 to 4 or 5 of the augment runes, which give you extra stats, or you can sell them, whichever. And a little bit of extra AP. We don't have one up right now, but this Satchel Scanner, I hit my macro and it's gonna pull this up right here. I keep it right here. You hit start and it's gonna scan for the tanking bags for me. And when a tanking bag pops up, it's gonna put up a raid warning, and it's gonna go green here. And it'll say call to arms, queue up as a tank, if you want a bag. So the only like weird thing about it is when you go into the options for it, so Satchel Scanner, click the plus sign, options, you can change these. I don't really know. Play sound warning if you play with in-game sound. I don't currently show a raid warning. Yes, I want to see that. You can show it like if you're in a group or if you're already in a dungeon. You can have it scan while you're currently doing that to know if it's up again, but you generally don't need any of that. Instances, it's gonna say Legion Heroic, just ignore that. It still applies to now. Check tank or check healer, whichever one you want. It also works for LFR, if you want to see when a bag pops up for that, if you really want to subject yourself to that fucking cancer. I have not yet and probably won't, so fuck that shit. But yeah, it's a really cool add-on for late night farming. If I'm just doing herbs and hanging out here on stream, chilling, I'll definitely have that up and going to know when that bag will pop up. I'll put my macro for that in the description of the video, to enable or disable that as it shows. And one last little thing before we end this, is enable and disable my tooltip. So this is a macro I've had for a long time. I mainly use it because I stream, but you can move your tooltips with MoveAnything. I don't like tooltips in general. I don't need to see that shit in the bottom right. You don't need to see this. I know what my abilities do in general. I like seeing them on my buffs, but again, most of the time I know this shit. I don't need to know what it's actually doing right now. So, but I can enable that or I can disable that and not see anything. Not see anything. I love that, especially when I'm in a plus. I don't want a bunch of shit flying over my frames here. One, blocking you from seeing that shit, and two, just annoying the piss out of me when I'm trying to just like, oh, I mouse over that and that, and I see this flickering over here and it drives me nuts, dude. So I'll throw the macros up for that down below. That's everything. Literally everything. DBM. Fucking DBM, dude. Some people like big wigs. I don't really give a shit. I just want an add-on that's going to show my timers. Some people like big wigs. Some people like mine. Whatever, dude. That's just a personal preference thing. It's real easy to set up, though. General messages. Raid warnings would be the more important things. So you're going to scroll down a little bit. You can go move me. It's going to pop up there. I'm going to hit it again so you can move it with the dot. You just click on it and move it wherever you want. I don't want to move it right now. Bars, if you want to move those. Currently I have them at the top right of my screen here, so I can see all of that right there. And then when they get to 10 seconds or below, they're going to come over here. And they'll be right here. So they're nice and spread so I can see them nice and easy. As long as you have this up, you can move them around. I like them where they are, so I'm just going to leave that shit right there. Special warnings, show example, set position. I like that right there again, so I'm not going to move that. example again, just to see where that is. Spoken alerts, event sounds, that's really up to you. You know, you just gotta roll through the settings and see what you like, see what you don't like. Again, Bigwigs is a good add-on as well. I just personally, I don't give a shit which one I use. I just want timers up on my screen for the shit that I need to know about, and I don't really pay attention to the raid warnings that much anyway. I really just need it for the timers. I could give a shit about anything else. And that's it, dude. That is it. Those are all the add-ons. If you have any questions, post them for me in the comments down below. I will get back to you as soon as I can. I'll have links to the WeakAuras, the macros for my tooltips, the macros for the Satchel Scanner. I'll have the link to the paste bin for the links to directly like where you're gonna get the add-ons from if you want to go through the site. All the add-ons that I have now you can get through the Twitch add-on or the Twitch client, I guess it's called, on your computer, so you can literally get these all there. I'll have a list of them there, of the names of them all, but all pretty easy to get and all pretty easy to set up. Nothing to really stress about. Definitely read through the stuff though, especially with like Z-Perl and Bartender and details. There's a lot of stuff. So just when you first get these add-ons, make sure you have a little bit of time, get through. It's worth taking the time to set up your UI. That's the shit you're going to be staring at for hours and hours and hours. And being easy to see, easy to process, you definitely don't want a cluttered UI. It's going to make for a cluttered experience on your gameplay and just can make things not fun. I kind of have a lot of shit happening on my UI right now, but it's kind of like organized chaos, I guess. Between like my bars and my timers here, I've got Harlan's here, I've got my healer cooldowns here, I've got target and my target, my party frames here, I've got my keystone thing here, my timers up here. It's a lot of shit, but it's worth taking the time to set your UI up in a way that is going to be aesthetically pleasing for yourself and easy to process, being the most important thing. So yeah, that's it. Hope you enjoyed. Again, I'm here for you. If you have any questions or any of that, hit me up in the comments down below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And stop by Twitch, dude. If y'all have any questions or just want to chill, check out the gameplay. I'm doing keys a lot. I am playing a little bit of balance right now just to kind of keep doing content, keep farming gear from my main spec, and to sometimes have a look at what other tanks are doing and all that. It's always healthy to get other perspectives on things. So take it easy. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all again very soon.